Michael Jackson's rise after the velvet triumph of Off the Wall, released on August 10, 1979, led to a higher-stakes collaboration with producer Quincy Jones and Epic Records, an imprint of CBS Records. Riding Off the Wall's critical acclaim and commercial momentum, Jackson and Jones reconvened with a bolder goal: make a pop record for the global stage. Epic, aware of both the profit and the risk, greenlit ambitious sessions that would become Thriller, released on November 30th, 1982. The early 1980s media landscape was electric and unsettled. MTV, launched on August 1st, 1981, turned music videos into cultural currency, while radio, network television, and record store racks still helped determine careers. That mix made a blockbuster possible. Videos and singles could amplify one another into sustained sales, but it also raised the stakes. Videos demanded cinematic budgets, and MTV's initial reluctance to feature black artists, combined with the network's demographic skew, created a real commercial and cultural barrier. Jackson, Jones, and Epic faced a choice: stick with radio-ready singles or build a boundary-pushing pop spectacle that could break color lines, reshape video promotion, and require unprecedented marketing muscle. The stage was set and the stakes glittered. Success promised fortune and industry upheaval, failure would be public and costly, and reputations hung in the balance. In early 1982, Quincy Jones gathered Michael Jackson, songwriter-arranger Rod Temperton, and a cadre of top players at Westlake Recording Studios in Los Angeles to turn ambition into platinum reality. Jones and engineer Bruce Swedian mapped sessions to capture a crystalline cinematic sound that could thrive on radio, in clubs, and on living room hi-fi. Temperton supplied pen and paper magic. Songs like Thriller, Baby Be Mine, and PYT, Pretty Young Thing, arrived as tight blueprints blending funk, disco, and noirish hooks. Jones reshaped those sketches with brass charts, string beds, and rich percussion textures. Jackson pushed every phrase until it gleamed. Vocal takes multiplied into layered harmonies, breath control and staccato phrasing were refined bar by bar, and he insisted on demo-accurate emotion while demanding technical perfection. Studio stories circulated about the sessions. Eddie Van Halen dropped by to lay down the incendiary guitar solo on Beat It, tracking a blazing rock-authentic break recorded quickly as a favor, and actor Vincent Price recorded the macabre spoken-word cameo and trademark laugh that turned Thriller into a little cinematic shock. Subscribe, it might have eased the execs' worries. Behind the varnish, Epic and CBS executives fretted. Budgets were high, and MTV's still-fraught relationship with black artists made some question whether this gilded, expensive project could cross radio, television, and racial lines. Walter Yetnikoff and a few allies saw the opportunity. Others saw peril. The record's sonic architecture was finished, but the album's fate depended on a gamble. Could singles like Billie Jean pry open playlists and film slots that had long been guarded? That unresolved doubt pushed the campaign toward a bolder, riskier next move. Momentum from the hit singles hardened into a cinematic ambition in 1983 when Michael Jackson and Epic Records hired filmmaker John Landis to direct a 14-minute short that would transcend the standard promo. Fresh off An American Werewolf in London, Landis brought horror film craft and a studio sensibility to a project pitched as both movie and music. Makeup maestro Rick Baker was brought in to design prosthetics and handle complex creature work, turning dancers into shambling corpses with custom appliances that required long application times and specialized technicians. Choreographer Michael Peters built the now iconic ensemble routines around Jackson, rehearsing in Los Angeles with professional dancers and staging a synchronized zombie sequence that fused Broadway discipline with streetwise bite. Casting included Ola Ray as the girlfriend figure and a roster of union performers whose Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA rules suddenly applied to what had been treated as a lightweight promotional film. Producers had to negotiate scale wages, residuals, and on-set safety protocols, which stretched the production timetable. Shooting took place in Los Angeles in 1983 across sound stages and locations. The combination of prosthetics, night shoots, special effects, and elaborate choreography extended the schedule to several weeks. Epic authorized a budget reported at about $500,000, an unprecedented sum for a music video in 1983. Studio-level logistics, rigging, union clearances, film stock costs, and Landis's cinematic crew raised both financial and reputational stakes. Executives watched nervously as a pop promo adopted a movie production model. Success would redefine the music video as a profit center and cultural event, while failure would make the expense look reckless. That gamble became the turning point for the album's visual launch strategy and the decisive public moment that followed. On December 2, 1983, the 14-minute Thriller short premiered on MTV in a staged broadcast promoted as a television event, and the response was immediate and incandescent. Major news programs and morning shows ran segments the next day. Entertainment pages dissected John Landis's direction, Rick Baker's prosthetics, and Michael Peters's choreography. Film critics treated a music video like a studio picture. The synchronized zombie routine that Jackson and Peters staged was copied around the world, in television variety shows, dance studios, schoolyards, nightclubs, and corporate promotions, becoming an instantly recognizable cultural vocabulary. Television stations replayed clips, radio shows debated the crossover of horror cinema and pop music, and record stores reported customers asking for Thriller by name rather than by single. Sales numbers confirmed the spectacle. Within weeks, the album shot back up the Billboard 200, consolidating a run that would total 37 weeks at #1. And retailers logged millions of additional units moved in the 1983-84 holiday season. Industry metrics shifted. MTV loosened gatekeeping and began wider rotation of black artists after seeing the audience pull. Record labels folded long-form video into marketing budgets, and film-caliber crews became a realistic investment for promo work. Awards sealed the commercial case. At the 26th Annual Grammy Awards on February 28, 1984, Michael Jackson won a record-setting 8 Grammys, including Album of the Year for Thriller. The $500,000 budget and studio-scale logistics that had once made executives nervous now looked like prescience. The long-form short had translated into headline sales, critical honors, and a new playbook for pop promotion, leaving the industry changed and expectations higher than ever. The stunned premiere, the avalanche of sales, and the Grammy sweep created an unmistakable inflection point for the record business. Within months, Epic and other major labels, CBS, Epic's parent, RCA, and Warner Brothers, recalibrated promotion budgets, treating six-figure music video spends as routine and underwriting studio-style shoots. The $500,000 spent on John Landis's Thriller no longer looked like folly, but became a template. Film talent crossed into pop. Landis's gamble was followed by Martin Scorsese directing Michael Jackson's Bad in 1987, and a surge of feature filmmakers began accepting video assignments, bringing cinematographers and guild crews into the promo ecosystem. Broadcasters responded too. MTV and network outlets loosened gatekeeping and expanded rotation for black artists and R&B inflected pop after viewers proved there was demand for Jackson's image. Industry accounting and A&R strategies shifted. Video became a line item, and corporate boards started greenlighting projects on the logic of spectacle. The triggers were impossible to ignore. Thriller's record-setting commercial performance, tens of millions of units sold worldwide, and Michael Jackson's 8 Grammy wins on February 28, 1984, turned a risky experiment into an inexorable new model the industry had to adopt. When Thriller arrived on November 30, 1982, it did not just dominate the charts, it rewrote the playbook. The album and John Landis's 14-minute short film, which premiered December 2, 1983, together propelled Thriller to become the best-selling album of all time, selling an estimated 66 million copies worldwide and earning Michael Jackson 8 Grammys on February 28, 1984. Beyond sales, Thriller raised expectations for production and promotion. Six-figure, studio-grade music films became standard, labels reallocated budgets, and broadcasters like MTV expanded rotation for black artists and R&B inflected pop. It broke down rigid genre gates by fusing rock, funk, pop, and horror cinema into mainstream spectacle, and it normalized collaborations with feature filmmakers, prosthetics artists, and union crews. Today's long-form videos, streaming premieres, and multimedia release strategies still follow the blueprint Thriller forged, a daring gamble that reshaped how artists and corporations stage a cultural moment.